You know, when we think about sex, our minds usually go to pleasure or, reproduction. But what if it's also one of the most powerful, science-backed tools for our health? We're about to dive into the biology of how intimacy can literally change your health, right down to the cellular level. So, let's get into it.
We've all heard the stories, right? That search for the magic food or potion that can kick desire into high gear. We're talking about the classics here. Chocolate, oysters. But is there any real science to it, or is it all just a nice idea?
Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. And frankly, it's way more interesting than that. It turns out the most powerful wellness boosters aren't necessarily things you go out and buy, but these incredible compounds our own bodies produce and, well, exchange.
All right, first things first, let's tackle those famous aphrodisiacs and really separate the long-standing myths from what the science actually tells us.
So, what's the real deal? While popping an oyster won't magically flip a switch, they are loaded with zinc, which is absolutely crucial for things like testosterone production. And dark chocolate? The cacao in it is full of polyphenols, which are fantastic for blood flow. And that's a key component of arousal. So no, they're not love potions, but they are supporting the body's foundational systems for sexual health. But that's just the appetizer. This brings us to the main course, because the most potent aphrodisiac we're going to talk about isn't something you eat at all. It's this incredible chemical cocktail that's made right inside our own bodies.
And here we have it. Turns out, seminal fluid is this really complex, bioactive substance. For the person receiving it, it's like a direct deposit of over 20 beneficial compounds. And this goes way, way beyond just reproduction.
So what's actually in this stuff? Well, you get a dose of serotonin, a natural mood booster. You get testosterone, which helps explain why sometimes the more sex you have, the more you want. It even has things like luteinizing hormone, which plays a role in regulating menstrual cycles. And look, there's that zinc again, plus these incredibly important things called polyamines, and trust me, they are a huge deal.
Now, to really understand why those polyamines are such a game changer, we need to take a quick dip into longevity science. We need to define the hallmarks of aging. To put it simply, scientists have identified 12 fundamental biological processes, things like cellular damage, that are the root causes of why our bodies age. And this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Those polyamines we just mentioned, spermidine and putrescine, have been shown in studies to positively support 9 of those 12 fundamental hallmarks of aging. Just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about a substance that could directly counteract the very cellular processes that make us grow old. But wait, the benefits don't even stop there. Let's pivot from what's being exchanged to what's happening inside your own body during the peak of it all, the orgasm, because it is so much more than just a good feeling.
See, when you have an orgasm, it kicks off this amazing chain reaction. First, there's a huge flood of neurotransmitters and hormones. Then, the physical cycles of contraction and release act like a total reboot for your entire nervous system. And finally, your body deploys an elite microscopic security team, your natural killer cells.
Honestly, the best way to picture these natural killer cells, or NK cells, is like an army of little Pac-Man characters being released into your bloodstream. Their entire job is to go on the hunt and gobble up specific threats. So what's their mission, exactly? Well, they hunt down and destroy precancerous cells before they can ever turn into a problem. They also track down and eliminate what are called senescent cells. People call them zombie cells because they just hang around causing inflammation and damage. So in other words, an orgasm triggers a deep cleaning cycle for your entire body. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We've got supportive nutrients from our food, we have these powerful anti-aging compounds, and we've got a system-wide cellular cleanup crew. What does all that actually add up to in the big picture of living a long, healthy life? Well, the data points to a pretty remarkable conclusion. Consistent sexual activity over the long haul has a real, quantifiable impact on your health span. That's the number of years you live in good health. And the number? It's about 2 extra years.
So here's the equation, and it's pretty simple. For every decade you can maintain an active sex life, we'll call that your sex span, you add about 2 years of health span to your life. It's a direct, really powerful correlation.
So when you boil all this fascinating science down, the ultimate takeaway is simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. One of the most effective things you can do for a longer, healthier life might just be to extend your sex span. The two are fundamentally linked.
Think about it. When we map out our health routines, we're all about diet, exercise, and sleep, right?
But based on everything we've just seen, from anti-aging compounds to a literal cellular cleanup crew, you have to wonder, maybe it's time we officially add intimacy as a fourth and equally important pillar of lifelong wellness. What do you think?